Forget Von now, all right? This is Detroit. These are my people, man. Damn it, Stan, I will be heard. Excuse me, Stan, all right? Yo, what's up, people? What's up?
Where's Vernell?
All right, look. You might want to sit down, Zulu lady. Sit down.
I loves me some Vernell. He's all of that.
Miss Jerry, now we done been through this in church before, okay? Now, excuse me, but I will fight an old lady.
I'm warning you, if I don't get me some Vernell soon, I'm gonna turn this mother out.
Slow your roll, all right? Slow your roll, because damn it, I will be heard. Thank you. That's all right.
Yo, welcome back. You are now in the cut with your main man, Caleb Carter, on the In the Cut podcast. And look, for my audio listeners, I know y'all heard me slip in the Martin at the beginning. Look, and let me just say this real quick before we even get started into the episode. Martin is one of, if not the best sitcom of all time. I mean, you got the Jamie Foxx show up there, of course, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But Martin, man, it's just something about Martin. I can watch it all day. I'm talking about when I was little, I was watching the reruns. So I had to throw that in there for y'all, especially the Varnell Hill, Do You Miss Me? Because look, it's been a little bit longer since our last episode. Usually I try to get these out to you every week. But look, I know we had some changes. And we tried to up the quality for you guys. I know you guys see the mic right here. There you go. Boom. You're now in the cut with your main man, Caleb Carter. And look, before we even get into the topics, I do want to say this for our first time listeners. Maybe you're a first time watcher if you're watching this on YouTube. So do me a favor. Hey, go check out the In the Cut podcast on Twitter, on Instagram. Hey, and if you got Facebook, I got that coming up for you too. Go check it out on Facebook right there. So do me a favor, go follow the In the Cut podcast on all the social media platforms. That's where you're going to get your updates. That's where you're going to get your clips. And for my listeners, go follow the In the Cut podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcast. Do me a favor and go check your boy out over there. Subscribe. It don't cost no money. You know what I'm saying? It don't cost nothing. But do me a favor and go check me out over there. And that's where you're going to get all your podcasts to listen to. But look, man, I'm going to put it to you like this. Since it's been a while, I do kind of want to restate for the people who may be new what this podcast is all about. This podcast is going to be 60% sports, 40% whatever else I feel like talking about. Now, I'm going to be honest. Some of y'all are not going to like what I'm about to say. But this podcast will never, I take it back, I won't say never. But 90% of the time, this podcast won't be talking about anything relationships. Because I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I think relationship talk, especially on social media, got to be some of the worst talk I've ever heard in my life. I mean, it's just, y'all know what they be talking about. So we're not even going to go through it. But look, I'm going to be honest. If it comes up, look, just let it slide. Because I'll be honest. That list where they was saying where not to take a woman on the first date, I thought that was comedy gold, and I probably would have talked about that. So if I talk about some relationship stuff here and there, just let it slide. But we ain't gonna be too deep into it because I think that's pretty repulsive, honestly. But look, man, we're gonna get into it. First topic we're gonna talk about is sports because I don't know about y'all, but the sports cycle has been ridiculously slow for me, right? And I mean, I love sports. I love all sports: NFL, NBA, baseball. Sometimes I watch a bit of I got to do the LPGA last year with Prairie View A&M, so I like a bit of golf here and there. I'm a sports enthusiast. But let me tell you, this is why the NFL is king, because I've just become very disinterested in the sports cycle of recent. I mean, we just wrapped up the NBA All-Star game, which was terrible.
Hot garbage. Hot garbage.
Right, and now we in the thick of the NBA season. Playoffs are starting to come around. We're not going to talk about baseball because who is talking about baseball in February, right? I mean, today is February 29th. When you're hearing this, it'll be March. But nobody's talking about baseball now. So the only thing that we have left as fans really to digest is the NBA. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm not a real hoop fan. You probably could call me a casual, whatever. But look, these people who play in the game right now, I just don't care about them, right? I'm talking about this new crop of talent, this new crop, right? Because, I mean, when we look at this all-star roster, right, these are the guys who going to supposedly be running the league, right? So, I mean, of course you got LeBron, Steph, KD. Those guys, push them to the side because they're not going to be here too much longer. Guys like Dame Lillard, right? You can throw... Giannis hasn't been in the league very long. But Kawhi, Paul George, these guys, they almost gone, right? So when we look at the rest of the players, I mean, Shea, don't get me wrong, love Shea. He's a hooper. And the dude can dress like crazy. But Luka, I like Luka. Giannis is great. Tyrese Halliburton, these are all great players, don't get me wrong. But do any of them have that same feel that LeBron, Steph, KD, Kobe, all of the old guys gave us? I mean, let's even throw in Russell Westbrook, and James Harden, right? I mean, to me, the NBA just felt more exciting when those guys were in the league compared to now, right? I mean, I like Jason Tatum, but you know what I'm saying? As he still hasn't shown himself to be that guy.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Okay.
In the big playoff moments in the finals, I mean, you know what I'm saying? He came a bit short against the Warriors. So, guys like Devin Booker, I mean, Paolo Banchero, young guy, I don't really know too much about him. I don't really follow the Magic like that. From what I hear, he's a great player, right? The one special guy that we know about is Victor Wembanyama, right, in San Antonio. And I mean, does anybody else really know about the guy? I'm talking about him as a person, right? Because we can't just respect the talent and forget who they are as a person, because that factors into, the rooting interest of the fans as well, right? So now I think Anthony Edwards has the best opportunity to be the face of the league, but I would like him in a place other than Minnesota. Only thing is, I don't think he'll ever leave Minnesota, because why would Minnesota let him leave? They finna give him a huge contract So then we got guys like Donovan Mitchell, Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns has been in the league close to 10, 11 years. Jaylen Brown, Anthony Davis, Jalen Brunson. Shout out to Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey, he from the backyard. He from Houston. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. And look, tell me if I'm wrong in the comment section. Hit me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, in the DMs. Tell me if I got this wrong. Because the NBA is just lacking right now. And that is why you see it on the screen if you watch it on YouTube. It said no NFL, no fun. Because when the NFL was around, I was watching those games every week. It didn't even matter if the Texans weren't playing and my secondary team, the Eagles, weren't playing. I was watching those games because I cared about those matchups. But I'm not finna pretend like I care about the 76ers. Because I actually like Joel Embiid. But I'm not finna pretend like I care about the Knicks with Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle going up against the Cavs with Donovan Mitchell and, Mobley and those boys. Don't get me wrong, great players. But I just can't watch it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not very emotionally interested in the way I would be in, say, the Miami Dolphins going up against the the Buffalo Bills. And I know those are two good teams. I know that's a probably unfair comparison. But those represent two out-of-market teams that I would care to watch. Right? So, I don't know. It's something about the NFL where you just have to realize that's why football is king here in America. I don't even know. I don't even know if I can put it into words. But playoff season is coming around for basketball pretty soon. So I'll be interested. I'll be watching then. Don't get me wrong. I'll be watching the playoffs. But after LeBron and Steph and KD, those guys exit, it's gonna be hard for me to watch NBA regular season. I'll just be honest. Because I don't see that guy who could be the next face of the league. Right? Like I say, I think Anthony Edwards has the most potential. But I think Minnesota is just kind of a weird franchise for him to be at. Right? So, we'll see. But I'm gonna get off that because I know y'all probably killing me.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
This next topic, like I say, this podcast is going to be 60% sports, 40% whatever I want to talk about. But this episode in particular, due to the lack of sports coverage, in my opinion, that's out there, I'm going to talk about something that's a little bit heavy on my heart. Right? You see it on your screen right now from my visual watchers. It says, do you need a degree? And I'm going to tell you why this has been heavy on my heart. For those of you who don't know, and I may have rushed into this because I didn't give y'all a proper intro. My name is Caleb Carter. Just graduated from Prairie View A&M University. The illustrious Prairie View A&M University, the HBCU in Texas. I graduated with a Bachelor's of Arts degree, majoring in communications. I currently work for a restaurant called Trill Burgers. Shout out to Bun B. Working at the rodeo today, as we speak, actually. This y'all gonna see this on Thursday. Y'all gonna hear this on Saturday, see this on Saturday. But today is Thursday for me. I gotta go to work right after recording this. So I graduated with a degree. But I'm finna go chef up some fries at the rodeo. And that made me, I was in the shower one time. I was like, man, what am I doing? I just worked those 3.5 years because I graduated early. And I'm over here. And that's not to put a slight at the people, who work fast food. Because like I say, somebody needs to work those jobs. And we do appreciate those people who do. But I'd be lying if I said that's where I thought I would be after graduation. Right? Matter of fact, if a fortune teller came up to me when I was in high school, right? They come up to high school, Caleb, and they say, Caleb, you want me to tell you your fortune during college? And then I can tell you your fortune after college. I'd be like, yeah, let me hear what happens during college. And then they tell me, Caleb, when you go to college, you're going to go to Prairie View A&M. You're going to meet a ton of friends. You're going to graduate magna cum laude, 3.8 GPA. You're going to be a part of the TV station, radio station. You're going to have the opportunity to go to the White House to represent your university. You're going to interview T.I., rap legend, right? You're going to be able to travel to different HBCUs, Morehouse, Spelman, Clark, Atlanta, interviewing people. I would have been like, yeah, sign me up. Well, I mean, how quickly can I go, right? But then if you would have told me, Caleb, after you graduate, even though you're going to do all of that, matter of fact, I skipped something. Before you graduate, before even your senior year comes, your last semester comes, you're going to be offered a job to be a news reporter. I'd be like, yeah, of course, sign me up. But hold on, Caleb, that's not where the story ends. Because after you graduate, you know that job you were offered? Yeah, you actually turned that down. Because it just wasn't the right time. You didn't have enough money to go live on your own. So you turned that down. And then you end up working fast food, just trying to make ends meet. I would have been like, high school me. I'd have been like, hold on. Is this really what I want to do? You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and that's where this topic really came from. Because don't get me wrong, I think a degree is necessary for about 85% of the population. The reason why I say that is because we hear the stories of these entrepreneurs, these billionaire businessmen, right? Or these people who go on to make hundreds of thousands of dollars who don't have a degree. And we fail to realize that they are the anomaly, right? They're the exception. They're the one who stood out amongst the crowd. By and large, that ain't everybody, right? By and large, everybody is going to have to go corporate, so to speak, right? And it takes a degree to do that. But I will say this. There are those who don't go corporate, right? They work blue collar jobs, right? And salute to those people. Don't have a degree. And they consider themselves to be successful. And I will consider them to be successful as well. So going back to the question of, do you need a degree? My answer is I really don't know. I don't know. Because it depends on what you want for yourself in life. I'll say that. Right? Because we have those who know how to maneuver the entrepreneurial field. They don't need a degree. They have the right connections and they can make it happen for themselves. You have those who work blue collar. Right? They may have done vocational school, learn how to become an electrician, or they don't even do that. They work at they work at a warehouse. I worked at a warehouse too, so I'm not shaming. And they found happiness in doing that. So I'd say it all depends on what you consider success, right? But I do want to go back to the point that was made earlier of not everybody can afford to not have a degree, right? Because like I say, most of us, we have these lofty, high expectations of life, of what we want out of life. And especially with this economy, man. And I ain't even into politics. But this job market is trash. Let me tell you.
Hot garbage. Hot garbage.
I think, I don't know who said it, but it was said that the goalposts keep moving because certain community groups keep obtaining what was initially the goalpost. What I mean by that is this. At first, you just needed to graduate high school and you could have a decent paying job. This was before I was born, of course. And then people who look like me started to get high school diplomas. And it was like, oh, let's make it a bachelor's degree, right? Then people like me started to get bachelor's degrees. And it was like, oh, Let's make it a master's degree. And now you got jobs who require these 3 to 5 years of experience and to get paid $40,000. Master's degrees to get paid $40,000.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
So I mean, it's rough out here. I mean, that's what I say whenever somebody asks me, "Hey Caleb, how is post grad life? I know you." Nah, man, it's rough out here. It is incredibly rough. But even as I say that, I will most likely be getting a master's degree, right? Because I mean, one thing that I've learned is that because the job market is so bad right now, right? I mean, people getting fired left and right. I'm hearing news of layoffs in media, which is what I wanted to pursue. I'm hearing news of layoffs left and right. But the one thing that, they can't take away from me, and I hate to sound like this, hate to sound real old school, but the one thing that they can't take away from you is that education, is that diploma, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to graduate school on my dime. I'll put it like that. Because, I'm Sally Mae finna be calling me in a couple months. So I don't need no more interest tacked on top of that.
Hey there. So, it's been 24 hours. Got my money?
Oh, you know what? Just give me till next Friday. I'll have it for you.
Oh, that's funny. I could have sworn I said have it today.
Yeah, I don't have it. Sorry.
Oh, well, all right then.
But yeah, I mean, I'm a move along. But that's just been heavy in my spirit. So y'all get at me in the DMs, get at me in the comment section. Let me know, do you need a degree? Right? Do you need a degree to be successful in life? And again, it depends on what your definition of success is. But hey man, we're gonna move along to a segment, a new segment on this show. I don't know how reoccurring it's gonna be, but I do know I'm gonna bring it around because some things just annoy me. I'll be honest, right? Some things just get on my nerves, and it reminded me of Family Guy. Peter had a show. It was called "This Really Grinds My Gears" or something like that, and I thought that was funny. So we're gonna have a segment called Caleb's Pet Peeves, and I'm gonna get this one out the way. You know what really annoys me is any variation of those quotes on social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, where they devalue small talk, right? It'd be like, I don't want to talk about how your day was. I want to talk about the sun and the moon and the stars and how you really feel about life. I don't care about the weather and things like that. Or those tweets. These are the ones that get me. Where they be like, that little conversation that you're having, that the person has with you, before they ask you for something. Yeah, we can get rid of that. And look, I get it, right? Because it always does seem like a fake conversation before somebody asks you what they really want to ask you. But has somebody ever asked you to do something without that little fake conversation? Maybe it's just me, but I hate it. I need that fake conversation. I need you to be like, "Hey Caleb, how you doing?" I'd be like, "Okay, I'm good. How about you?" "Good. Okay, cool. I need you to do this." I need that icebreaker. Don't come running up to me and be like, "Hey Caleb, I need this." Cause man, you just give me a second. You know what I'm saying? I think people who dislike small talk, and I'll just be honest, people who dislike small talk don't know how to be cordial at all, right? Because small talk is what gets you into a lot of places, right? Just being like, "Hey, how you doing?" You know what I'm saying? Did you see the the team play whoever, yeah, I did. Whatever, that was cool. That gets you a lot of places. So whenever people like, I hate small talk. Nah, please don't come around me then, because I need some of that. I ain't saying it's 100% of my conversations, because I sometimes I like to get deep into it too. Pause. But, I need some small talk. And this is another one, and it's real small. I'm gonna get this out the way. One thing that really annoys me is, you ever have a bag of chips? You ever be eating a bag of chips, and someone comes and they be like, "Hey, can I have some? Or can I have one?" Right? And then you hand them the bag of chips. Right? Like it's still in your hand, but now it's pointed toward them so they can reach in and get some. And then they rustle around in the bag and only grab one. It's like, all right, man. You can just have a bag at this point, because you didn't touch around every single chip. You know what I'm saying? You didn't put your hand dust on every single chip. You can just go ahead and have it. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but like, I'd rather you go get you a paper towel or do the little hand tray, and then I just pour you some if you want more than one. Right? Instead of reaching in my bag, and this is a quick story, and I'm about to be done. But I'll never forget. I was in high school, and I was eating a bag of chips, and a friend of mine. I mean, this is a friend, right? This ain't just some random, so I'll say that. But a friend of mine, she comes and reaches her hand in my bag. Don't get me wrong, we always share, right? I don't have no problem with sharing, sometimes. But she comes and reaches in my bag without asking. Man, I almost lost my mind. Because why are you reaching in my bag? I don't even know if you wash your hands. I don't know if you put hand sanitizer, and you come reaching in my bag to take some of my chips. And for the people who know me, I love chips. So I don't just I like to share, but chips is hard to come by for me. I'll just be honest. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Hey, man, I do appreciate y'all for listening to this episode. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like, again, check me out on Twitter. You see it right there. I'm going to give you a couple seconds just in case you need to go follow. Check me out on Instagram. It's right there. At _in the cut show. Hey, man, and then do me a favor and go check me out on Facebook for my seasoned crowd. You get what I'm saying? But, hey, man, we do appreciate y'all for listening to the In the Cut show. I'm your main man, Caleb Carter. Quick announcement is that I had a guest recently named Charles Carter, my brother. And he along with the Break Room podcast will be hosting an event at the 7-on-7 tournament here in Houston. I believe it'll be in the Woodlands specifically. And the In the Cut podcast will be there helping the Break Room podcast during that time. So be on the lookout for some content from that 7-on-7 tournament. But hey, man, you were in the cut with your boy like peroxide. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Peace out.